Hi everyone, Cari here. Thanks so much for tuning back into my channel. Today I am going a little off script to answer a question that I always get, so stay tuned. So you want to work in human resources. I'm often asked, how do I actually get into human resources? Along with my own experience, I familiarized myself with some articles around professionals, recent graduates, and those alike who have got into human resources. I also spent a little bit of time interviewing various HR professionals. These are your assistants, the recruiters, the generalists, the business partners, the analysts, the directors, you name it. I have talked to them all. And although each of these professionals were from different industries, a lot of the things that they told me were exactly the same. The feedback was very similar. I want you to note that this is not an all-inclusive list, and many of you may know that there are other ways to become an HR professional as well. But I'm going to share some things with you that I've learned from these conversations that I've had and my own experiences. The first tip is to know why you want to be in HR. From the interviews that I did, most of the professionals stated that knowing why you want to be in HR will be crucial to your success in the field. What are your reasons? Do you like solving problems? What are you actually passionate about? Many agreed that HR is 100% about the people and 100% about the business. And yes, you heard me correctly. If you're only interested in HR because you like people, you might be missing the key element of the value that the field adds. All agreed that in order to be successful, you must also have an interest in the business. The second is to familiarize yourself with the dimensions of HR. Human resources is very broad, and there are many ways that you can get into the field. You have to ask yourself, what area of HR do you want to be in? Do you like talking to people, or are you more analytical? Do you enjoy teaching others new things, or are you more data-driven? Make sure you ask yourself these questions before diving head first. Some of the functions of HR, and I want you to make sure you take some time to research these yourself, are things like payroll, recruiting. You might find that you don't like asking people about their past work experience, but you do like data, and this might be HRIS systems or human resources information systems. There's so many other elements of HR as well, like training and development, wellness, compensation and benefits, leave. There are so many things for you to research, but you have to familiarize yourself with the different functions. Familiarizing yourself with these functions will help you to narrow your focus. For me, I don't like the numbers, and therefore I would never thrive in an HRIS capacity. However, this is still a role within HR. The third tip is to not disregard those entry-level roles. Entry-level roles are an awesome way to gauge what function of HR you would like to pursue. These entry-level positions not only give you valuable experience, but they also provide you with an advantage should a position open within that HR department. One individual I interviewed told me, listen, Cari, you can be the assistant who just assists and that's it. Or you can be the assistant that is consistently learning and trying to do more. Don't miss out on a great opportunity to be exposed to all aspects of HR just because it's entry level. The fourth tip is to don't be afraid to VIM. And yes, I made this up. It means volunteer, intern, and meet. There were 3 common opinions among the various levels of those that I interviewed. They all agree that you should volunteer. If you've discovered that HR is really your passion, and you like to learn more about the field, I want you to be open to volunteering. Check out volunteer opportunities with your local HR and SHRM chapters. If you're in college, you can also check to see if your university has a university chapter. Volunteering can also give you an idea of what area in HR that you might enjoy. And I know that you want to be compensated for your time and for your work, but sometimes experience proves to be a little bit more valuable. The second part of this is interning. If you're still in college, I want you to be on the lookout for those internships. When the summer months roll around, you can expect that interns for the following year will be posted. And yes, they are quite competitive, but this is a great way for you to gain some solid experience. The last part of this is to meet. Oftentimes, local and university chapters have monthly member meetings, and during these meetings, they discuss things around HR events, updates to laws, new changes that may affect employers and employees, and a host of other things. These chapter meetings serve as a dual purpose. Not only do you learn more about the field and you're able to stay on the cutting edge of any new changes, but you also connect with individuals who have a common interest. I want you to know that the majority of the interviews I conducted pointed out that if you've already established your career in HR, it's important to still demonstrate how your experience translates. I had this challenge when I got out of the Army and was trying to transition into the HR field myself. The fifth tip is that you must connect. Most of the folks I interviewed stated that they may have stumbled into their first HR job, but they were able to grow by building relationships and networking. You can build these connections through those chapter meetings I mentioned, through volunteering and interning. Another way to build relationships is to identify an individual in a role that you aspire to be in and ask them to share a few challenges and rewards of their role. Connecting isn't always about securing your next opportunity. Connecting is about building genuine and meaningful professional relationships. And if a job comes out of it, that's just the cherry on top. Some final thoughts that I want you to add to your toolbox is liking people is not a prerequisite for becoming a human resources professional. You gotta narrow down your focus and decide what function of human resources you're interested in. Don't be afraid of those entry-level jobs. Sometimes these are the most important roles you may ever have in your career. Volunteer to get a feel of what you might enjoy. Be confident in translating your experience in a way that demonstrates the results that you've achieved, and surround yourself around other HR professionals. Don't be afraid to connect and network. Before I go, is this the first time that we met? If so, I'd like to welcome you. I am Cari Hawthorne, an Army veteran HR professional who enjoys everything about helping others with their careers. And if you have some additional tips that you think might be helpful, please leave them in the comments. I would love to hear from you, and I will see you on the next one.